everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Brooklyn and this is my January wrap up. So it is currently the 31st of January and I'm hoping to finish one more book, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. So currently I have read 11 books in the month of January and I've had such a good reading month. Some really great books in here, so let's get into it. So to begin the year, I read Hook, Line and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. I finished the year by reading It Happened One Summer, so of course I had to start it with this one, and I ended up giving this one 4.5 stars, I believe. I really enjoyed it. I almost enjoyed these characters even more than It Happened One Summer. This one follows Fox and Hannah, and the chemistry of these characters throughout was just perfection, and I just enjoyed the storyline of this one and the character development from Fox as well, and it was just a quick, really enjoyable read, so I gave it 4.5 stars. Next, I finished The American Roommate Experiment by Elena Armes. So I have been wanting to read this one ever since I finished The Spanish Love Deception, as I loved The Spanish Love Deception. It is like my all-time favorite romance right now, and I needed to get to this one because it follows Lena's best friend Rosie and her cousin. I think it's her cousin, yeah. And this is an American Roommate Experiment, and I just love like the concept of this, all the tropes in this were like to my liking. I gave this a 4 stars as the pacing was a little bit off, and I just like, it took me quite a while to read this, and at times I was like, oh, hurry up, this should be over by now. But overall the romance of this was really great, and I just loved the banter, and I loved Rosie's character, and also Lucas was really fun as well. Definitely not up to par with The Spanish Love Deception, but it was still like a really good romance to read, so 4 stars for this one. Then I listened to The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F, and I ended up giving this one 3.5 stars, probably more leaning towards a 3 stars. This was an okay book. It's more of like a self-help book, definitely non-fiction. A lot of people know about this one. It's been like everywhere, trending. So I thought I'd give it a read. It was a very quick audiobook, and I just thought it was a little bit preachy, and I'm one to not really give an F anyway, but I thought, why not care less? It didn't like change my life or anything, which I'm not expecting it to, but it was just okay. Nothing really stuck with me. It was kind of just saying how people are not successful when they're thinking about being successful. So that kind of stuck with me a little bit, but like I kind of already knew that anyway. So yeah, it just like wasn't really it for me, but it wasn't bad either. So it was okay, just generally okay. And then I also listened to It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover, the sequel to It Ends With Us. And basically I liked this book, but it just didn't need to exist. So I think I gave it 3 stars. It just was so short, and it could have just been an epilogue of It Ends With Us. I don't really like It Ends With Us that much. I think I ended up giving it 4 stars at the time, but as I think about it more, I'm like, no. And all the controversy surrounding the misrepresentation of domestic abuse makes sense when you look back at it, as I didn't know that at the time of reading it, and definitely can be triggering for some people and not represented properly. So I definitely understand that. There were things in this book that I went a bit but overall it was okay. The storyline with Atlas was a little bit more interesting in this one. Getting his perspective was nice, and yeah, I think it was just not necessary. The last book could have just ended like this quickly in like a little epilogue, and it would have been completely fine, but for some reason a whole book needed to be made. I just didn't really connect with it and think it was necessary. I then read Guild by Raven Kennedy. This is the first book in the Plated Prisoner series, and I ended up giving this book 4 out of 5 stars, probably closer to a 4.5, as I did really enjoy this. I just wanted more, and it didn't seem like the first book in this big fantasy series, as not much happened and there wasn't that much world building in my opinion. but I am definitely continuing on because this is so interesting, and the characters and the whole plot line, I can see where it's going to go in some ways, and it just is so intriguing. But it wasn't like the best book or anything, so I just need more, and I definitely didn't expect it to be this kind of short, and like it wasn't really like the first book in a fantasy series. Usually the first books in these series are very complicated and very hard to follow, so I did respect that it wasn't hard to follow. Like, it was very nice to have a quick, easy first book in a fantasy series. However, I didn't get to know the world that much. As I also don't know the story of King Midas, it's very interesting to me for what happens, and obviously this is different because it's a retelling, but I don't want to spoil myself by finding out what the actual story is. So yeah, but I'm definitely continuing with this series, hopefully very soon, because I did really enjoy it, and I recommend this because I think that this series is just going to keep getting better and better, which I love that. But yeah, just wanted it to be bigger. As always, I need some big books. Next, I read Before the Coffee Gets Cold, Tales from the Cafe by Toshikusa Kawaguchi. Sorry if I mispronounced that. I read that really quickly and didn't even look properly. This one has been on my TBR for a while. I did realize after I finished it that this is the second book in the series. I don't know if you have to read them in order still, but for this I felt like you didn't have to, and I really enjoyed this one. This one actually has slightly higher star rating than the first one, which is just Before the Coffee Gets Cold, so I'm not sure what happens in the first one, but I really enjoyed this and thought it was so inspirational and emotional, and just like made me want to go to Japan so badly. And the atmosphere of this, as it is translated from Japanese as well, so the writing kind of takes you to Japan, and it made me feel like I was back there, and the environment and just the cafe in general and the characters all intertwined together really nicely. Even though they were separate stories, they really connected very well together, and I really appreciated that. And each story I connected with the characters immediately and felt for them and wanted to know them and wanted to know everything. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I recommend this one, even though I haven't read the other ones. I'm going to read the other ones one day, perhaps. So good. I gave it 5 stars. Then I read The Glass Letters by S.A. Genchi, I'm not sure how to pronounce that last name, sorry. I was sent this for review by Katie and Bray Review, and I didn't enjoy this one at all. Something about it just didn't sit right with me, and at the start I was intrigued by it, and then it kind of just went in another direction and made me very uncomfortable, which made me kind of, I don't know, it just made me feel really disconnected with the story, and things were kind of like unbelievable and moving way too fast for what was going on. It has good reviews, which made me really question myself. What made me question myself as well was that there was quite bad homophobia in this, and that made me uncomfortable, which is what it probably is supposed to do, but it made me uncomfortable in a way that I didn't want to read it anymore, so maybe it triggered me, I'm not sure. But yeah, I just did not enjoy that, and to me the main character felt very naive and like, I don't know, just didn't feel natural to me what was happening. I enjoy the first part of it, so I DNF'd it at like 40%. I think this is one that might be for your own actual taste, but I for one did not enjoy this one. Then I read Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood, and this one I really enjoyed. I think I gave it 4 stars as it was so quick, and the science of it isn't something that intrigues me, as it just doesn't. But Levi's character was new book boyfriend. I really enjoyed him. Had all the tropes that I love, like enemies to lovers kind of thing going on. B's character, her mindset on things, she just made me want to be best friends with her, and just, yeah, I just really enjoyed this story and it was fun. And that's all I gotta say. Also currently listening to Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune on audio. So I'm hoping to have finished this tonight, but we shall see. Maybe not. Maybe this will be my first read of February, but we'll see about that. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know how many books you read in January or your favorite book, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.